In Bell County, Texas, you'll find some old towns with fascinating names, such as Cyclone, Alligator, Echo, Stampede, and Ding Dong. All these place names make perfect sense. Even Ding Dong, Texas. Think about it. Ding Dong in Bell County. But there's one town that seems out of place. Sparta. Built on the banks of Cowhouse Creek in the 1850s, the original name of the settlement was Cedar Grove. No surprise there. But in 1873, local residents changed the name to Sparta. No one knows why. For 100 years, the small town of Sparta, Texas, brought a little bit of ancient Greece to modern America. But not anymore. In 1954, the U.S. government moved everybody out, including the dead and buried, so that the area of Sparta could be flooded to form Lake Belton. The old buildings of Sparta, Texas still lie abandoned at the bottom of the massive lake, a watery ghost town reminding us of the legend of Sparta in American life. The town submerged deep in the waters of a Texas lake is not the only Sparta in America. In the eastern half of the United States alone, there exist today lots of cities named in honor of the ancient Spartans. And why shouldn't Americans want to build their homes and raise their children in a Sparta, New Jersey, or a Sparta, Louisiana? Ancient Sparta had a glorious history of military might easy to admire. Its armies were unrivaled on the battlefield. Its soldiers were the epitome of toughness with a never-surrender attitude. Their reputation for valor, their record of victory, makes it obvious why the Spartans are celebrated everywhere in modern America. But this is the legacy of the idealized Sparta, the romanticized Sparta that hides the much darker side of their military success. Thank goodness these charming and charitable communities are nothing like the real Sparta of ancient Greece. These present-day Spartas are, as they say, what an American neighborhood should be, progressive and friendly, a great place to grow. Not at all like the original Spartans, who did not welcome strangers, who did not want visitors, and who wished only to be left alone in severe xenophobic isolation. Living up to a different ideal, the ancient Spartans gave up everything that did not contribute directly to the waging of war. Every male citizen in Sparta was a full-time, lifelong soldier, and never anything else. Never a carpenter or a poet or a painter or a philosopher. The prime directive of every Spartan woman was to breed more Spartans for battle. From cradle to grave, no Spartan had freedom of choice about what to be, whom to marry, where to live. The state decided everything. It controlled every aspect of life, public and private. Children were bred for battle, raised by the state and hardened by ritualized public beatings and relentless privation. A secret police force monitored the countryside. In that Sparta, only Spartans were welcome. The state guarded against outsiders whose ideas might corrupt its citizens with dangerous desires for personal freedoms, prosperity, art, literature, travel, and other un-Spartan ways. Sparta was a repressive, totalitarian state that achieved its goal of military superiority by means few Americans would wish ever to emulate. What the Spartans wanted was a reliable army of automatons, every soldier exactly like all the others. They were called in Greek the homoioi, meaning the sames. They looked the same, dressed the same, ate the same communal meals, endured the same training, and showed the same obedience to every command. To deviate from that sameness meant expulsion or death. No American ideal of individuality here. Spartan warriors fought and died as a well-drilled unit, each one holding his place in the rigid hoplite phalanx. Today, we've created a false impression in our movies. where muscled Spartans stroll and strut about in their crimson capes and tiny briefs like Superman from Krypton. They brawl as individuals, leaping and twirling in a beefcake battlefield ballet. Their king is deeply in love, a devoted family man. His famous line should be, "This is not Sparta." A much better movie version of the actual Spartans may be found, I kid you not, in Star Wars. Like the Spartans, those dreaded stormtroopers were denied personal freedom and a normal family life. They were taken away young to be trained in military barracks and stripped of their individuality. They were taught to value conformity above all else, to obey the state without question. They all looked the same, act the same, and served the same purpose, namely war. And that is why the one exception in the films, FN 2187, proves my point. At first, he's just a number, nameless and faceless, until he fails as a stormtrooper. To us, he becomes a hero when he acquires his name Finn and removes his helmet, the first stormtrooper to reveal his face in the movie franchise. Endowed at last with a personality, Finn finally discovers freedom and fights for freedom on behalf of the Rebel Alliance. You and I cheer him on, but be assured that an ancient Spartan would despise him. He has betrayed his upbringing and his brothers in arms, the imperial homoioi of the future. Nor would the original Spartans have cared much for this, the fun but cartoonish mascots of some of our modern day universities. With their big foam muscles and Dudley do-right chins, these caricatures evoke Sparta's fighting spirit. But what about Sparta's open hostility toward all artistic and intellectual pursuits? No ancient Spartan championed science, philosophy, or the liberal arts. These modern majors were anathema to them. It was ROTC or nothing. Sparta's bitter rivals, the Athenians, would make better academic role models. After all, Athens exhibited military strength alongside its dedication to democracy, art, literature, philosophy, and so on. Kudos then to Athens State University in Alabama, although its mascot is not an Athenian, but rather Hebrew the bear. Then there's Athens Academy College Prep High School in neighboring Georgia. But wouldn't you know it, they call themselves the Athens Spartans. So you see, the legend of ancient Sparta and modern life has a complicated and often contradictory history. They have left a resilient legacy across our landscape, surrounding us with Sparta cities, Sparta streets, Sparta theaters, libraries, drive-ins, and restaurants. We make Spartans our school mascots and reimagine them in movies as doting husbands and fathers dedicated to liberty, reason, and justice. Better Spartans for a better tomorrow, endowed with American, not ancient, values. What a story that is, bubbling up from the bottom of a lake in Texas. That's no warrior from ancient Sparta, nor a cowpoke from Sparta, Texas. No, that's yours truly a few years ago. Do him a favor and poke that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. If you do, he'll see y'all next time.